Hello everyone and welcome to our 1.1 asynchronous session on growth patterns. In this video, we will be looking at multiple scenarios and seeing if we can identify a growth pattern. We are also going to see how to take information from these situations and use the data to create tables and graphs. In this first situation, I'm going to give you a little bit of context for what's going on here. In this situation, we have a construction company, and this construction company is building a new building in Portland. And in 1 month, that construction company can build 2 levels of this building. In 2 months, they can have 4 levels of this building built. And in the 3rd month, they can have 6 levels of this building built. And so what we're going to be asked to do is to find out and draw what the 4th month would look like. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, in this first month, we know that we have 2 blocks here. We have 2 levels. And when I go to the 2nd month, what's the difference? And some of you are like, I already know, I see what's happening here. And what's happening each time? Well, in the 2nd month, it looks like we start out with that same 2, but then we added another 2 levels to our building. And if we continue on to the 3rd month, again, we're starting off at 4, and we're adding 2 more. And that gives us a total of 6 levels. What would our 4th look like? Well, it would look exactly like this 3rd month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then we're going to add 2 more and continue on with the pattern. So how many levels does this building have at the end of the 4th month? Well, it has 8 levels total. And if we wanted to, we could keep taking this out. We could go to a 5th month, a 6th month, and we would just continue to see this pattern of adding 2 levels to this building every month. All right, in the second pattern, I'm also going to give you a little context for this situation. In a town is wanting to build out a new intersection. And so they start off with a plot of land here, and they fill it with concrete and asphalt. And what they want to do now is they're going to take this one piece and they want to start building out this intersection. So we go from having 1 block to having 5 blocks. And then I look at day 3 and I say, well, what happened in day 3? Well, day 3 now has 9 of these blocks or these tiles here. And so what's happening? Well, to get from 1 block to 5 blocks, what had to happen? Well, we added 4 of those squares, 4 of those tiles. And then to get from 5 to 9, again, we see that we are adding 4. 5 plus 4 gives us 9. So we would expect then, if we're following the same pattern, that from day 3 to day 4, if I'm adding 4 to this, that should get me to a total of 13. And so let's build that out. And what I notice is if I want to draw this, I'm going to say, okay, well, I know how many blocks there are supposed to be, but what is this thing going to look like? Well, notice that I started with 1 block, and then on the 2nd day, there was 1 block on each edge of the original. So I'm going to have a new block on each edge of the original. And then now again, looking back at day 1, I start with the middle. Day 2, we had 1 on each side. And then on day 3, we have, it looks like 2 on each side. So now I'm going to say, well, this is what day 3 was. So what would we expect day 4 to look like? Well, day 4 should keep following this pattern. And so we should actually have another breakout of having these 4, 1 on each edge. And that gives us a total of 13. And one of the things that's going to be really important for you this year is to be able to take data, put it into a table, take it and put it into a graph. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at this table and we're going to fill this table out. So how many days do I have in this situation? It looks like we're talking about 4 days. So I have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And how many crosswalk sections or pieces do we have at each day? Well, at day 1, we had 1. Day 2, we had 5. Day 3, we had 9. And day 4, we had 13. Okay. And I want to be able to take this information and put it onto a graph. And I know that for all of you, this is a little hard to see. My printer did not print this out very well. But we have a little graph down here, and we have the x-axis and the y-axis. Now, which of these should be the x and which should be the y? Well, the days are our independent variable here, so we are going to say that that is our x, crosswalk sections are our y, and we'll go ahead and start graphing this. So I'm going to have the point 1, 1, so I'm going to go over 1 and up 1 and put a point there. And then I'm going to go over 2 and up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go over 3 and up 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll do the same thing, go over 4 and then up 13. So this is at 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And now we have taken our data and plotted it on a graph, taking that from our table. So that is sort of just a general idea of what we are doing as far as looking at these patterns, seeing what's happening, and then trying to use that to predict what's going to happen in the future. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to do is we are going to sort of continue on with this idea, but take away the visual pieces. So on this section here, we're going to take a look at finding the next 3 numbers in this given sequence of numbers. So we have 105, we have 90, we have 75. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, it looks like my numbers are going down. I'm subtracting. Looks like I'm subtracting these, or I'm subtracting by some number to continue down the road. So how do I get from 105 to 90? Well, if I think about even backwards, if I added 10 to 90, that would be 100, and add 5 more to that 10 be if I added 15 going this way, that would get me to 105. So if I'm subtracting, that means I'm subtracting 15 to get from 105 to 90. And so then I'm going to say, all right, well, does the same thing work? If I'm going from 90 to 75, if I subtract 15 from 90, do I get to 75? Yes, it turns out we do. So I'm noticing that this pattern is subtracting 15 every time. So what are my next 3 numbers going to be? If I subtract 15 from 75, that is going to give me 60. If I have 60 and I subtract 15 again, that would give me 45. And if I subtract 15 from 45, that gives me 30. So now that we have filled in the numbers of this pattern, what I would like you to do next is go ahead and move on to our Go formative assignment, where you're going to see some more questions about finding the next numbers in the pattern. You're going to be asked to do some of the other problems where we were drawing out these blocks and given a context in that situation. So go ahead and do that, and we will see you guys next time.